Warmest of greetings, friends, and welcome to Dicefunction Discussion, the official Dicefunctional podcast, where a bunch of friends sit around and talk about their D&D game with you, our wonderful audience. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining in. Sorry for the weird absence. Sometimes things get lost, especially when you're in the middle of a major arc. It happens. But yeah, we are back. And again, every other Friday, we will be here with you discussing the games. And that way, if you have any questions, this is the best time to answer them. And, maybe also give you a little bit of insight into maybe how the players are thinking, how the characters are feeling. You never know. This week, as I mentioned, we will be discussing the entire Rosenvalle arc, which is really, really exciting for us as players. Real quick, though, before we get into it, do need to mention, uh, if you do have questions, best way to get your questions to us is to tweet us at Dicefunctional with an underscore. Uh, keep it really simple this week. But this week, as far as people joining me, I have Michele, voice of Rudy, and I have Jess, voice of Mercy. How's it going, guys?
Eh,
Yeah,
Uh,
pretty much. It's one of
Oh,
those, guys. It's one of those. Oh yeah. For those of you who are listening to this later on, we are in it's like month two and a half of
who
dealing with
time is
COVID
time
19.
time doesn't exist anymore?
Yeah, it really
That's not
doesn't.
true. Time exists next week when I get to leave.
Yeah,
There you go.
yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. Everyone's trying stuff, and it's interesting times. We'll keep it at that. We'll just keep it at that. But yeah, we're gonna do something a little bit more interesting than that. We're gonna talk about the D&D game. Um, so I'm not even gonna try and summarize anything or go into anything because there was so much that happened. I don't want to sit here talking for an hour about stuff that most of you probably already know. And if you haven't listened to the whole arc, up
Don't
to
do
the
that,
point
please.
where Fortune's Blade uh, runs and sees the dividend right at the end for the first time, please do so
Sure.
before you go watching this because there will be obviously lots of spoilers. Um, but yeah, we're gonna go ahead and I'm just gonna uh, we beat the Rosenvales.
Well,
I was about to say, this is something I would like to bring up to
Yeah.
the two of you. Kind of first one's at Michele, next one will be at you. So,
Hmm.
Michele, on a scale of 1 to 10, how pissed is Rudy right now?
oh, she's off the scale. She's off the scale. She's so fucking mad.
Because this is probably something that's been on her mind now since she found out.
She's been denied. Look, you have to understand. She's very happy that he's dead because he was the one who literally called her property when they walked in. So she hates him more. But fuck the fact that she got away. Like, you have no idea, like, the thoughts in my, like, the things that she's going to do. Oh, the bitch is gonna be petty. Like, you guys don't, like, you think the counter spelling the cure wounds was petty?
That was beautiful. I will ask this.
It
Do
was,
you
wasn't it?
do you think in the coming situations, if given an opportunity to go one way to help a friend or go after her, Rudy would even think to go after her first?
You mean anybody in this group?
Yeah, so let's say Gail's backstory stuff comes up and we need to go, and at the same time she resurfaces.
Who would still go with Gail? She said this before, and she'll say it again a million times over. This group is her family at this point, and she would rather help her family out no matter how much, how angry, how livid she is at this woman. She would much rather help her family, especially if it's Gail. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
her They're her family.
Quick question: how profane am I allowed to get on this podcast?
As profane as you want. There
Cool.
isn't a.
I was about to say, because this is the woman who literally fucking birthed her out of her own womb.
Yeah.
Does Rudy have any weird feelings about that? Because she didn't really have a maternal figure.
Yeah, I don't know. I really wish I hadn't failed that persuasion roll.
You might get a second chance.
Yeah, because I kind of like, yes, Rudy's livid, pissed, whatever. I wonder how much of everything. I mean, obviously, this woman's going to be. There's just no way she's not going to be driven by revenge. It's just she has to be. But I wonder. Yeah, there are weird feelings. But like also like this woman is not a maternal figure at all because this woman would rather her dead than anything. Although her being dead now is pointless. Like Rudy being dead now just doesn't make like it doesn't serve any purpose to her anymore. Because I don't think her soul like I don't think she's the one she had any sort of deal with the Dividend. I think he did. But I don't think she knew about it and she was fine with like birthing the child and whatnot. I don't think she necessarily I mean, that's probably something Rudy's probably gonna ask this guy. Because I'm kind of curious if she also had the deal with him, but I don't think she did. But yeah. Yeah. But that'll be something that we're gonna probably deal with in like 4 or 5 levels. I don't think that's gonna be any time. Like she's gonna pop up somewhere. She's gonna team up with someone or
Don't say that. Don't put that idea into the universe.
she is. There she has to. There's just no way she's not she's gonna we're making a lot of enemies, guys. Like,
Join up with Buble.
yep. With Bubbly.
Yeah.
With Bubble Waterman.
Which on the flip side of that, Jace,
Yes.
Gale's target that's against the light just got away. How's he feeling?
Oh, he feels fine. Actually, no. No. Here's the weird thing. He feels fine because the way he's looking at, it, he's like, I literally shoved her out of a window. She will remember all of this. I am not concerned at all. And if she does show up, I'm just gonna turn her into goo.
No, I love Gale.
it the way that Gale's looking at it, one, this lady completely abandoned her husband.
That
She
too.
spent all of that time and all of these resources going, I'm going to keep you alive. And despite all of that,
She couldn't.
Gale literally crushed him. Yeah. And then at the end of all of that, one, she's known. Her crimes are known. There isn't anywhere that she can go where people won't know about this. So Gale's looking at this as a, well, now you fucked up. Cause now everybody knows this isn't like, oh, I got away and I was the secret like boss or whatever this whole time. It's like, no, you're a known entity, you're a known person. It's not like you're good at trickery or anything like that. Like you're going to get caught. It's just a matter of time. And supposedly, as far as Gale knows, the only one who's really granting you power, it was coming through essentially your husband and this Dimmadand guy. Your husband's dead, and the whole idea is we were going to go looking for the Dimmadand. Well, guess what? Looks like he showed the fuck up. So, hey,
God.
yeah, like, yeah, we didn't kill her. We didn't get that part done, but she's gonna forever remember taking antlers to the back from a being going roughly 30 miles an hour, weighing close to like 600 to 700 pounds, went through a window, dropped 20 feet, hit the ground, and then is essentially like walking on broken legs trying to run away from this whole thing. No, you'll remember that you fucked up. Like, that's not something you're going to forget. So Gail's like,
No.
look, all of my friends are alive. I have a really bad concussion. We got some money. We got to deal with this dividend. I'm kind of okay with how this ended. It could have been worse.
Alright, uh, connecting onto that, this is at both of you, of course. How you feeling about the fucking Dimmadan just walking into the room? I think he's there was 2 fiend heads dangling from his.
I don't know, man. I
'Cause
was
I
so
I heard the singing and my brain went fuck, 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 fuck.
I I don't know. I have no idea what's gonna happen. I think we're gonna be fine, for the record. I don't think we would like level up and like be like, here's all this money if he's gonna be like, okay, you dead now. Like, you know what I mean?
TPK.
Ah, that would be so shitty. Um, but I don't know, man. The whole situation's just weird. See, how does Mercy feel?
Mercy's looking at everyone and thinking, I'm not as bloody as the rest of them.
Again,
Mm.
everybody's not that bad.
I was about to say,
Everybody-
Mercy is not even bloodied. She did not take almost any damage, and she's sitting here looking at everyone going, I need to make them all go to bed. We all need to eat, and we will deal with everything else in the morning.
Well, I can't deal with the Dimmadan in the morning.
Mercy's standing between y'all, by the way, when that starts. I don't give a shit if Gale tries to get up and go towards it, because I know Gale, and he'll want to stand up and be near the front. The boy's got a concussion.
Yeah, boy's in a bad way. He just for reference to those of you, because I don't normally call out. I don't ever call out health. Yeah, Gale in the swing of that whole thing between breaking in and the end of that fight took over 200
So easy to me.
points of damage.
Because he only just hit around 100, didn't he?
So he was 97 going into the day. He was hurt before we started even fighting in there because never got a chance to heal fully.
For the record, that's why I'm taking. Oh yeah, I need to add catnap. That's why I'm probably gonna take catnap if I can
Yeah.
get it, because catnap will be good for situations like. I know that Becca and like are like, oh yeah, I can get arcane recovery. I'm like, no, 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 no. She got catnap for Gale. Honestly.
Gale had a very very long rough day. Yeah, and then he got up to, so let's see, he was going in there at like just over 90, was down to like 30 something after that fight because I was trying to save a rage just in case. Which turns out I didn't need to, but I could have, you never knew.
Yeah.
And then healed back up to like 80 something. And then in the process of the fight got as low as 10 before the leech potion started really kicking in, got all the way back up almost to full, and then by the time he was, throwing people out of windows, he was at 4 hit points. Like, Gale charged in there after her with 4 hit points, going, all right, fuck it, here we go. If I end out of this window for some reason, and that's why I specifically said that Gale was aiming to actually hit the wall, because he knew if he went flying out the window too, he was gonna go unconscious. Like, there wasn't a way that he was gonna come out of that without going unconscious.
Okay, hold on.
So,
I'll be right back. I gotta be back
all
really
right.
quick. Give me 1 second.
Yeah, no, Gale charging that, not knowing how bad he is, and now looking back on it, my brain can only think, oh god, oh no, why did
Yeah.
we let him do that?
Nobody had a chance to tell him no. I am, to be fair, it's one, it's in Gale's nature just to do that.
Yeah.
Gale wanted, the whole goal of going into that fight, the whole point of that was they were supposed to take them down. That's just how that was gonna go. But then add in, Gale knew he had a shot of, taking her out. Like, hey, I mean, there's
Jace,
a chance.
Jace, I just thought of a horrible question, and I'm so bad Michelle is not here for me to ask it, but if I do not ask it now, I will just burst into laughter. Would Gale have used the Ring of Goat during this fight?
I was looking for a good opportunity to use it. I really was, like, especially after, like, the numbing thing happened, where Gale, like, essentially had, like, no finger strength or anything like that. I mean, he was just gonna go in and just start biting.
Oh God, Cannibal Gale.
Yeah,
That's
like
a horrifying image,
Yeah,
oh,
well,
yeah. Yeah,
especially since you've already kind of got him Wendigo-y.
yeah, I mean, Gale was just gonna dive at him and, the, uh, Mr. Messon, Maycare or whatever his name is, and Gale was just gonna start biting at him. It's like, "Well, I can't use my hands. Now I'm gonna start eating him." Like, that's just what I'm gonna do.
The
Um,
Rosenvalles were so fucked up.
oh, yeah.
they were
It was
rough.
That being said, we didn't have any character deaths. We
we did
got
not.
close.
Again, if any of us had failed those wisdom saves, it would have gotten really bad.
Oh, yeah.
Mercy with that clutch +4, which just further proves that I'm gonna do my charisma next, not my strength.
Yeah, that makes more sense.
Because having a +5 to checks, especially in check-based magic stuff, is pretty important in my mind.
Oh,
Especially
yeah.
because, like, the few intelligence saving, um,
Yeah,
well,
intelligence saves fuck you up.
I was about to say,
There's
they're rare, and Mercy has a +0 without it.
they're rare, but they will fuck you up.
Yeah.
Like anything that's intelligence save based usually is just going to mess with your head.
Yeah, and there's
Like I
not much
wanna, like part of me wants to pick up Sonatic Static, but it's not an evocation. It's
Mhm.
something else, and so I can't do like my spell sculpting with it. So would have to hit members of the party if I'm doing that. So I'm probably not gonna pick it up.
Yeah.
I pick up things with like Rudy's thought process in mind, and like Rudy would not pick up anything that would possibly hurt her friend. If she can sculpt around it, it's fine.
Mhm.
But if she can't sculpt around it, she's not doing it.
Coward.
That's just how she thinks.
I know.
She can sculpt around you guys with the fireballs and shit, but she can't sculpt around you with anything that's like psychic.
About to
Even
say,
though it's
it makes
powerful.
sense by her standards. It it annoyed Mercy during the fight when it had been so bad and everyone was so bloody that addicts used a spell that hit other people. Because I saw Gale going down from that.
Gale
Yeah,
was fine.
yeah. I mean,
Like, early fight team hits, I don't give a shit. 'Cause let's face it, we're at better health. But like when it's that late, uh, but regardless, we just hit a lot of bank, y'all. Uh, has anyone in the party, do you think, had that much money at any given time, not including Low?
oh,
That's it. We never include Low in these.
Yeah.
absolutely.
Maybe Dea.
Mm,
Just
pirate.
maybe like maybe the pirates
Yeah.
had that much like at some point. But everybody else, I would say probably not.
Does your character know how to process having this much money?
Nope.
I'm
Gail's
gonna be
immediately
curious,
going, "Cool, I can do this and this."
and you'll probably
That's
have a shit ton of money left over.
he's just gonna be walking around with all of it going like, "I don't know what to do with this.
I
I'm
mean,
just hang on
the
to it.
money
Why not?"
literally, Rudy literally cannot carry her money. It weighs more than she does.
Well, the good thing is
That's
Connor
funny.
doesn't count that kind of weight.
I know, but it's really
Yeah,
funny to think
Mercy
about.
can't
still
carry hers
funny.
either. She's overcapacitated.
Gail can carry everything.
Gale has the bag of holding.
Yeah, that's
Gale
yeah.
also is considered a large-sized creature when carrying things.
That's fair.
So Gale can carry an absurd amount of stuff because
No,
he's
Question for
considered
you,
a
Jess.
large-sized creature. Yeah,
oh,
it's
can I? One thing. I want to just say this plot bunny, and then yeah. I just imagine now Gale with all this money walking around so sane because he's got free time, and somebody tries to mug him.
Oh God. Oh God.
it would be an instant reaction of just to hit him and then go, "Why do you need this money?"
But
And
yeah,
depending
Michelle.
on their answer, he might give them a bunch, or he'll just like knock them out and like throw them in like a bucket somewhere and then walk away. Just like
My
stuffs them in a
question to
barrel. Like here,
you,
you could sleep that off.
That's beautiful. My question to you, Jessica, is seeing as like how Rudy dealt with like her family shit, knowing that Mercy has family shit, does this change her mind at all
Change her mind about what in
about
particular?
about maybe not running away from it anymore?
That is such a complicated question for Mercy. Because, like,
Mm,
at her heart, and I know this is gonna sound weird, Mercy is a coward. She's terrified at the idea of dying. She's terrified at the idea of having to face something that big. And it scares the shit out of her. So, bravado, I don't give a shit kind of mindset of if I die, I die, that she puts out on the front. But in reality, she doesn't want to. And the thought of having to face them before this, she knew it was probably inevitable, but she also thought maybe if I die before it happens, I don't have to worry about it. Which I know that's fucked up, but like if she died and just, fucked off, she wouldn't have to deal with it. But now that we've dealt with Rudy stuff and the sacrifices there, and it's hitting her, she's like, okay, I don't really got a choice anymore. I'm not gonna fucking die, it seems, because, you know, one, doesn't seem like I'm meant to die yet. Two, even if I tried to, these fuckers would bring me back. At some point, she's like, probably especially after this, she's gonna be really thinking, I'm gonna have to confront this sooner rather than later. Not immediately, but it's not gonna be something she can let go for a few years anymore. Like years and years down the line, it's gonna be sometime in the next 2 years in her mindset after this point.
does she think Rudy's brave?
Braver than her at the moment.
Interesting. See, the thing is that Rudy thinks that she's brave, so it's like funny.
No.
That,
Yeah,
yeah.
Mercy thinks of herself as a coward. A lot of what she does is not necessarily because she's brave, but because her overwhelming sense of protecting other people overrides the fear.
Mm. Kale, Chase.
Yes.
So Gail brought the light back.
Gale did bring the light back.
How does that feel?
Feels good. Yeah, now Gale's a lot of what uh a lot of Gale's motivation has to do with keeping people and villages safe. Because as it's kind of been alluded to, that is something that Gale takes very personally. Um, and they did it. So Gale feels really good about that, and seeing that the clouds are starting to break and things are going back to normal. It's sort of that sense of relief, like, okay, good, we did it. Okay, I can take a nap now. Yeah, I think more important to him though, and we'll kind of see because the whole thing with the dividend could change certain parts of this,
Right.
depending on how it all plays out. But for now, Gale feels very accomplished, like very, very accomplished um, with everything. He feels glad that he feels like he's trusted, which is something interesting for him. Um, and that's kind of nice. He's really happy that he could help Rudy out with this thing because he knows that Rudy really wanted to get this handled. Um, and he was able to make sure that all of his friends got out of there alive, which is what he wants at the end of the day. So yeah, no, he beyond that, there's not much thought to anything else that's going to be happening. Me as a player, I'm looking at this and I'm going, oh fuck, like there's so much that has changed, and there's so much that's going to change because of this,
Oh
and there's
yeah.
so much of it that's Gale going, cool, we did it. All right, what do we do next?
It's
So here's the thing. I had the thought, like I asked. I mean, obviously we talked about this yesterday, where I was like, "Are we famous now?" And Connor's
Yeah,
like, "Yes."
And the best part is no one in the group right now cares. It's like Avo tried to
No,
make this big deal out of it. Like
no one
you guys
cares.
legitimately did something and everyone's here thinking, I'm bleeding and I'm tired.
Here's the thing, and we
Can I
also have
have
a
a
Dimmadam to worry
sandwich?
about. Here's my thing is, like, I already have this vision of, like, we're probably gonna Arcane Tunnel back.
Mm-hmm.
And we're gonna ask Avril, like, obviously, because he's probably gonna want to talk to us. We're gonna assume he's gonna want to talk to us, and he's gonna be like, "Oh yeah, just Arcane Tunnel back into like in front of the Sapphire," and there's just gonna be a fucking huge crowd.
Oh, don't curse us with that. That would drive Mercy up a wall.
I think that's what's gonna end up happening. That's the thing.
I was just gonna stand there like, why are we all here? What's
Everyone, all
going
of us are gonna be so confused. We're all gonna be like,
Gail's
"What?"
gonna be confused. Mercy's gonna be going, I don't like this attention. Please get it away from me. Please get it away from me. I'm gonna make a break for the door and I don't care who I hit and I will start punching.
Genuinely,
Let
I
me in.
genuinely think we're gonna be. That's like I like I can't imagine it being. I mean, it probably could be any other way where he's like, "Oh, just like go wherever," but
The one thing I know that's going to happen is we are going to have to go talk to the governor about this.
oh yeah. Oh yeah, Rudy wants a teleportation circle, man. Rudy wants to be able to like use that teleportation circle. She
Yeah.
has the
Oh, yeah.
clout now. There's a teleportation circle in the Platinum District that is only for like important people. Guess
It's gonna
what?
be cool.
We important now.
Mm-hmm.
Arguably we were already important when we discovered an island.
Right. But she didn't feel like that was enough, honestly. We important now. Like we real important. We saved
Yeah.
an entire town.
It
We gave a
it's
town back to the city. We gave
yeah.
a town back to Serfane.
We think about it. We very quickly went from just some, hey, we're just some blue cloaks to we discovered a lost floating island to helping essentially we did save a bunch of people in the one town that I always forget the name of.
Elmere.
Belmare.
Oh, wrong
Fair
one.
Mare.
There's
We
multiple towns.
There's so many towns.
we save a town from essentially being overthrown, met a dragon, and then saved another town from
Mm.
destroying an entire like citizenry, all the while being a very noticeable and recognizable group. And
What
how news travels in worlds like this. All of this is going to come out all at the same time. Oh, I heard this story about them. Oh, I heard that story about
Yeah,
them. Everyone's going to go,
no, there's
what
gonna
the
be
fuck are
stories
these
about
guys?
us.
they killed a man with a pencil.
There's
We
gonna
like
be
John Wick.
no, like there's gonna be like there's also like the people that we like literally saved like from a banshee and shit. They're like, oh my god, they saved me from a banshee right in front of me. There was a thing attacking us and they just killed it.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
just like like genuinely at this point we are the people they tell stories about, and that's crazy to me. Like I know that's something that eventually happens in D&D if you get high enough level, because like whatever.
Yeah.
But like I don't know, like even like my other high level character, it's not like the other high level character I have, she's in like a war torn place where like that doesn't matter as much.
Yeah.
This feels different because it is. I get the feeling if it happens the way I expect it to, I might cry. I don't know why.
Man, it's this campaign and for those of you who don't know, I joined a little bit later. Jolly and myself joined a little bit later. Going into this, I didn't know what type of campaign this would be, or like if that discussion even come up, and then learned also that none of that discussion had ever come up. And going into it, and I've always kind of looked at this as like, fuck, this is going to be one of those weird like we're heroes and then they have to figure out how to be heroes sort of things. And the way it's all come together, and it's not like the events have specifically been like, hey, you're going to be heroes, but a lot of the way that we've done them, whether purposefully or not, has become like the stuff of like the hero legends. Like it has become one of those hero campaigns where it's like, yeah, these guys are the heroes. Like they're the ones doing the good thing. Like,
Don't get us wrong. They definitely did just shit on that person's bed over there because
oh yeah,
that one's chaotic. But like at the same time, they also fixed his entire, land problem with that was infested with fucking hags or something.
Yeah, like we cured his, all of we took care of all the monsters, but we also uncovered the smuggling ring that he had going on under his estate,
And
and
one of our party members definitely did sleep with his wife.
yeah,
I
like
just I don't know. I don't know. Like the idea that we're like doing this like big like comparatively like it's like Vox Machina shit. Really
it has that, it's
has
that
that feel.
flavor of campaign.
Well,
Yeah,
it's an epic, quote unquote.
it is. Yeah.
I've never like I've been playing D&D now for 2 years. Like my 2-year anniversary like literally just passed, which is crazy to me. Like 2 years since my first game.
Yeah.
And like the other long running campaign that I'm in, yeah, we're the heroes. We're probably the people that they're talking about legends, but it's also a world that's been torn apart by like war and like demons and shit. And like we're like half the population of the world has essentially been obliterated. Like it's really that like thinking about that's really dark. And it's like so it doesn't have that same feel where it's like you come into these big cities where people are cheering your name and da 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 da. I don't know.
Hmm.
It feels cool though.
I'd say that will prepare you for when we end up in Patricia at least.
Yeah, that's true. But it feels cool. Like it's a really cool way to like we're like technically I mean, obviously probably won't get to level 20, but like this is closing a huge part. Like this is closing the beginning part of the campaign. Because this is where we jump off and go to like different places now.
Hmm.
Because we're probably not going to be in Odella that much anymore. Because what we've done in Odella is basically done.
Odell is just our headquarters. We go when we get tired and we
Yeah.
want something easy.
I think Rudy is probably going to commission someone to do, probably Danae, to do a teleportation circle. Maybe. We'll see. Into I'm surprised the Rosenvalles don't have a teleportation circle. That's kind of annoying. I mean, not that we need to go to the keep because it's not our keep, but still.
Yeah, I think this is quickly becoming one of those at a certain point where it's like, okay, look, like we're doing good things. We've done a little bit, like maybe just maybe like let us move around a little bit quicker so that way we could take care of like the bad shit that is clearly on its way.
I mean, technically, like we can move around Odella pretty quick because of like Arcane Tunnel.
But we
Like,
don't want to pay for it.
we don't want to pay
It's
for it.
Arcane Tunnel, I feel like it's in the same vein as Maddie being able to resurrect people. It's one of those where like when we need to, it becomes that emergency thing where like, how'd you get here? Don't worry about it. We're here now. But if we can avoid that
Yeah.
part, like
I mean,
give us a means.
we can't use it to get off, but we might get it. Hey, we might get a boat
Yeah.
now. We make it. I mean, if we want to go places, we're gonna need one. We
Yeah.
can probably negotiate for a boat. I'd say we could negotiate for a boat, considering all things considered. Like, I would not be surprised if there is stuff from like we get stuff from Cersei now. We got a day named after us. Today is Fortune's Blade Day.
Oh.
That'd be cool.
I'm sorry. I'm thinking in Mercy Braid as this conversation's happening, and that sounds awful to her.
Mercy just panics.
Well, you also have to realize something because I talked to Connor about this a while ago. Desney and followers aren't the kind to celebrate a single day. Like Desna does not have any guaranteed holidays. She does not have anything that's specifically sacred, like time wise. Desnians are very much every day is a blessing kind of people.
Hmm.
So like having a day named after her kind of makes her skin crawl if that happens.
I
It's
mean,
like
if it's gonna happen, it's gonna happen.
I know, and it's gonna feel icky for her. She's gonna want to take so many baths.
Eeky.
It's really funny because like I'm thinking about this in Broody Brain. I'm like, cool, this is gonna be a good way to get people to follow Mazden.
There you go.
Mercy and Udi have two different brains on this.
Like, cool. The thing is, before this, obviously, if this had been like before this, if to be famous would have been like really bad for her, but like she doesn't need to worry about that anymore, essentially. Yeah, she still has her mom to worry about, but that's gonna be really hard for her now. Like,
Oh,
Everyone,
yeah.
don't you love being famous? Mercy and Dea both looking down at their drinks. Huh? No. No, it's not. No.
like for Rudy, this isn't as big a deal for her anymore. Like being like famous or whatever, like it wouldn't be that big a deal for her now. She would be like okay with it because it's like cool.
But there were 4 people like that in our group, which was Rudy, Ro, Mercy, Dea. But
And
2 of those
Cal
got
too.
and
And Cal
Cal.
too.
But
Yeah. Cal's gone.
Cal's gone. The other 2 have essentially revealed themselves or dealt with
Oh,
whatever the issue
and
was.
Morgan, technically, I think.
Yeah, I think
But
so,
Morgan's
yeah.
not with us right now.
Yeah.
So
But
yeah.
that just
But
leaves
now it's just 2 people.
that just leaves the dumbass Precretions who are from a war-torn country, both probably wanted for very different things. Just to go,
Gale doesn't get any of this concept at all.
That's true. Neither
Like
is
it's
Attic, I'm sure.
well, yeah.
Gale is a simple village boy.
He is, but it, I'm trying to think of the best way to explain this. I guess in Gale's head, it's like, cool, I'm famous. Gale understands what famous is. Like Gale isn't an idiot. Gale
No.
understands a lot, and Gale especially is a fairly high wisdom character, a especially for a paladin barbarian. Gale understands the world on a like a super like universe brain level, but he's constantly up there, so bringing it down to this like, oh yeah, like all the minutia of like everyone knows who you are and all of this and how those things relate, just none of that just none of that connects in his brain. So it's literally just gonna be like, oh, you know who I am, cool, high five.
No,
And
no,
then
no.
just like nothing beyond that, just it just bounces right off of him. And
No,
I
I just
laugh every time because I'm like, there's all of this shit where me, and I'm really good at playing the hyper technical characters and the highly political characters, and I'm very good at that part. So playing with Gale, where I'm just like, yeah, I just let all of that roll off. I'm just giggling because I'm like, dude, this guy just doesn't like. Again, as I've explained it, Gale's the type to he would shake hands with a god and then ask them if they want to go like just like go swimming or something like that. Like just there's no like, oh, you're a god. He's like, no, you're just really powerful. Like, okay, cool.
I have this mental image now of us walking into a town somewhere and people recognizing Gale and like buying him drinks, and he's just thinking these people in this town are so fucking nice.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
would. He's like, "Oh, well, this is the nicest village.
And
These
everyone's
people are really
thinking,
nice."
this is Galeth, a Fortune's Blade.
Yeah,
Oh
Do
she's
you know
like,
god,
what this
this is gonna be so weird, you guys. Like, it's gonna be fucking weird.
I mean, it gives Gale and Attic's last names technically.
A Fortune's Blade.
A
"Oh,
Fortune's
Fortune's
Blade.
Blade." Yeah,
That's like, because they're the only ones without last names, I think.
yeah,
Yeah,
Because
well, I mean, Rudy picked
Muzzy's
the last.
Muzzy's got 2 technically, but you know, we don't talk
yeah.
about one.
Rudy also technically has 2, but she's only using 1 because she picked it.
There you
Tech-
go. Rudy gets to pick. I feel like, especially at this point, she's earned it.
I just sent Connor a list of spells that Rudy wants. It takes it so
go.
long.
I
All
will
right,
say this.
so yeah, go ahead, say your thing.
Last thought. With everything going on and what we're going into next session, good lord, our characters need the break they're about to get.
Oh yeah.
Even if it's only a month.
I wonder if I can
Yeah.
convince Alice to like not leave for a month. Like Alice, don't go adventuring, please. Just stay here with me.
Don't do the thing.
Maybe you
Yeah,
don't.
I think it's gonna be weird for Gale because Gale's just gonna go into this and go, okay, like I need a night. Did we sleep? Okay, I slept off the concussion. I'm good. I'm gonna get some like equipment fixed. I'm gonna get a couple nice things. I think one of the things that Gale has one plan, and it might seem out of character at first, but Gale has one thing that he wants to get. Which I don't want to reveal obviously on the podcast. You'll have to check us live or check the VOD over on our YouTube. Um, just to because it'll be kind of funny. But he has his reasons. Anyway, like Gale will literally be like, "Or we get the stuff," then he'll be like, "All right, cool. Where are we going now?" And if that takes like a week, it's like there's a week and Gale's like already up and like going to off to do the next thing and literally just like throw himself at whatever dangers are
I
there.
just realized if Gale gets bored, Mercy can co-opt him into helping her with shit.
And probably, I know Gale was Addicts and Gale are talking about going on like a
field trip.
a field trip to get some stuff. So depending on the timing of that, but yeah, no,
Yeah, I mean,
Fearball field trip.
Rudy already has like so many things that she needs to do in that month. So like, everyone's like, "Oh, I don't know what to do." I'm like, spells. I want to see if I can get those books over to us somehow. I want those books. And
Mercy,
Oh
then
yeah,
what?
Mercy's got a very long plan she's been thinking of for a while to start working on.
sounds about right.
Transcriptions of the Amaznin stuff.
Time to turn the lucky sapphire the color it's named after.
Oh God.
Covered in
God.
blueberries.
Like Rudy has a whole list of like smart people things to
Mhm.
do. You know, so she's good. Like
Yeah.
she's built for downtime.
G-
Wizards are built to use downtime.
Oh yeah, yeah. Gale just needs just to get his brains unscrambled for a moment, and then he'll be good. But no. So one question I want to close this out at a good point, and I want to go get everyone's opinions on this. So we've closed out some of the stuff with some of the people's backstories and gotten some of these issues clearly resolved. And keep in mind at this point, ourselves and audience, we don't know what this conversation with the Dimmadand is going to reveal, if anything. So I guess the question is, we have a lot of loose ends that are still floating all over the place, from the monster on the island that we still haven't taken care of, to Rose ex-fiance that we have to go figure out. Obviously, Maddie's whole thing. There's clearly something going on to the east. Then obviously all of Mercy stuff, because we don't know where her, that whole war is going on, to the fact that there's clearly something underlying in a lot of this, and not to mention everything related to Misfortune and how the fuck that whole thing happened, because that hasn't even been touched in a very long time. So what do we think, like, the next couple things we're going to tackle? Do you think it's going to be like, oh, we'll do a couple like little things and we'll be able to do that? Or are we thinking it's just something like there's going to be a whole bunch of stuff that's just going to happen all at once?
See, now I'm afraid to answer because Connor's here.
Oh, I'll tell you point blank what mine is. I think we're
know.
gonna go handle the Sky Island after
Yeah.
we deal with summoning Udi's not Udi, yeah, Maddie's mom back. 'Cause I think
Agreed.
that's gonna happen immediately after time
Gotta
skip.
bring
Just
back Rudy's mom.
shut up.
We could bring her back and then Gil would squish her.
Just fucking
that
Gallagher her head.
That feels like a waste of a wish. But anyways, bring back Maddie's mom, figure out what's going on with her, possibly send her to a demi-plane if they're not a plane.
Mm-hmm.
And then head to the Sky Island, and then from there head to Barrett, which is his fiance. I feel like that's the chain of events going in my mind, just because I feel like story-wise that's going to make the most sense with what we've done.
Hey, that kind of seems like the order of how we need to, like, most importance.
Yeah.
Kind of there.
So
Michelle,
we'll
what about
probably
you?
crash right into Daya's story at some point during that middle of all that. Let's
Probably.
be real here.
Yeah. I have a feeling it'll happen between Sky Island and Barrett, because I feel like, because we're gonna have to go by sea, I feel like the
Yeah.
ship's gonna get attacked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I could see that happening. Yeah. That's all I had for for questions. Pretty easy. We've just been talking about a lot of stuff. Connor, how do you feel we handled Rosenvalle as
Brilliantly.
a party?
There's
Really?
no other way to put it. You guys handled it really well.
Oh.
Knowing when to stick to Mercy was probably a saving grace, especially with a lot of the saves that you had to make.
Mercy.
Knowing
No, you did
when
close
it was worth picking a fight or just getting the fuck away from it was also something that you guys.
That weird dude with the spikes.
Yeah. So this is something that I told you guys in the Discord, but I did not tell you here. Those weird dudes with the spikes, yeah, those were statted like the Lost
Mm-hmm.
from the Shadowfell.
Oh, that would have fucking sucked.
It would have been really bad.
Hey, there's a reason I told Avo to bring guards back when they were gonna come to the city.
Yeah, and also the smart thing you did was you didn't take your time. You went fast. You had maybe 2 to 3 rests in Rosenvalle. That was about it.
We had, I
And-
think, 3 long rests total
No,
because
we had two. We had two.
did we do 2?
Yep.
You had
only
one
had
when you
2.
showed up.
Yeah.
You had a second one at the secondary safe house, and
And
then a
that's it?
third one on your way out.
No, we
Like,
only rolled twice though.
we did only roll twice
Um,
because it was within the same day.
No, I think we only had 2 long rests the entire time.
Because you guys, you're right. You did a short rest on your way out, didn't you?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that was a short rest and a long rest. Yeah, so only 2.
Yeah, we
And
just
just
did-
by liberty of how quickly you did it, you also saved yourself from a lot of the bigger things you'd have to deal with.
Yeah, well,
As it would, the pressure would have just kept building and building and building until you guys had to either run or keep going.
Yeah.
we were I think in our brains that's what we kind of figured. We were kind of like, we need to get this done as soon as possible
Mhm.
because it's only going to get worse.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that was exactly what was going to happen. I had stats ready for what were going to be basically modified versions of Gray Oozes. And if you stayed there long enough, eventually I'd bring out the stat block for a modified Elder Ooblex, and you'd have to deal with that thing.
Oh my god.
Yeah. If you guys stayed there for too long and didn't save civilians, eventually you would have seen more and more of those lost creatures wandering around the city. If if you just didn't do anything at all, but you managed to do a lot of damage to the mercenaries, they would have come in and burned the town down, and they would have tried to draw you out as best they could. Every way they were going to try to push you into either coming out of hiding or running.
Connor,
Mhm.
I mentioned during session, Mercy's already been out.
Shut up.
Shut up.
Wait a
Fucking
minute.
hell.
I just think it's funny that we were just kind of like, no. Like, I think it was
We need to
partly
get shit done.
was Rudy like being like, we need to go fight them. Like, Rudy was like literally like, we need to go fight them as soon as possible.
Oh yeah.
I think that was part of it. Like, people, because I think there were some people that were like, were saying maybe to go a little slower, and like Rudy Brain was just like, no.
The only place I wanted you to slow down at was in the mansion
Yeah, that's fair.
because
In,
there was
inside the mansion, you, Michele, were stressed, and you, Michele, were pushing hard to get this
Oh,
shit
yeah.
done.
Yeah, it was also Rudy Brain, believe me.
But at
Because-
the same time, I can. In fairness, I can see the perspective of the people who wanted to take it slower in the city as well, because you did have to leave civilians behind.
we did.
Yeah,
Yeah.
To
You
be
know?
fair, we had a thought process with that, which was by leaving and dealing with the bigger threat was saving, hopefully, some of them.
And that's true. You certainly did. But like I could see many other ways where you certainly could have saved many more at the risk of putting yourselves into a lot more harm. Like
Could have been some
you-
escort missions and
Well, not necessarily escort missions. One of the best ways I could have seen you doing it was, you already had a small population of people who were saved, which was a good chunk of the town. I'll be honest here; it was a good maybe eighth or so. You know, it was a
Mhm.
decent amount of people. What you could have done is gotten as many of those able-bodied people to go out into the city, and then spread the word that okay, at this time we're all leaving at this spot.
Yeah,
We
but
need
you
to
tried
get
to
ready.
you tried to do Sammy, and we didn't want him to die.
Them. Yeah, you
Them.
you yeah, and well, and in fairness, Sammy was always going to put themselves at risk, because Sammy, was kind of this interesting thought experiment in a way, as they're almost kind of like the perfect adrenaline junkie, because my thoughts were, well, what if we have somebody who has insomnia but they get tired when they're stressed? So they're in a way the perfect adrenaline junkie. They get tired when they have the adrenaline running through them, so they do better because they've gotten some rest finally.
Weird
So
question.
yeah.
I don't know if this is going to be something that's brought up, because at some point we're going to have to talk to higher ups, I'm assuming, because of everything and how we're famous now and shit. You know, he said there might be like a council. We should just be like, Sammy, be on the council.
Sammy,
Yeah, that was Alvaro just being like, yeah, something like this might happen, but he's also not a politician, in fairness.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Bessie looking at Sammy. I love and trust you. Please take the city.
That's fair.
It'll be interesting. I'm very interested to see how things transpire once we get back to Cersei, because I think things are going to be a little bit insane for us as a group.
Things have changed.
Oh,
Things have changed tremendously.
Oh yeah.
And like there are still many things that you guys have to be worried about. Like there's still Lacroix. He's gone. He's out there.
I was about to say he already got mentioned earlier.
Yeah, of course he did. He's a present threat. He is somewhere.
There's that whole thing
And-
to the north. There's a
Think to
lot.
the north, huh?
That's where he is, remember?
Oh, he's in Belmare. Yeah.
Well,
No, there's
Oh! You
Yeah.
mean you're talking about where Opal the Duck became no longer human.
yeah.
yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I never considered that you guys could look towards that. I kind of like had that in there, almost like a polite wink and a nudge towards like Mountains of Madness from Lovecraft.
No,
Yeah.
Conor, you made the
There-
mistake
there-
of mentioning.
Here's the
met the
problem. Is me in my brain, I lock all that shit down. I'm like, well, this could potentially be a thing that we have to deal with at some point.
I mean, you certainly could. Oh
Let's go.
man,
Let's fucking go.
oh shit, yeah. I'm gonna have to make a Mountains of Madness campaign for 5e. I mean, that would certainly be very interesting, because basically with Wilhelm Opel de Duck, who, if you guys don't know, Opel de Duck is it's actually an old pseudo medicine.
Mm-hmm.
So I named it after an old medicine. Like the entirety of him was just he was like my love of Lovecraft kind of coming out. Same thing with Lacroix, same thing with everything in Belmare.
It's okay, Conor. You've made a
But
mistake.
There's no mistake.
It'll be cool regardless.
Lacroix, like I everything with Lacroix is fun. I love him. He is a he's excellent.
Michelle.
I know. I just realized that. I'm
What'd you
so
say?
dumb.
Michelle messaged me privately, but I'm gonna read her for filth in the group. She said, "I just realized the thing we fought in the Underdark was Lovecraftian."
No
Like,
shit,
oh,
Sherlock.
No, I
Really?
No. That's not what I was saying. Was
No.
also
That is literally what you wrote.
no.
Was-
Was also because it's how maybe like the Underdark is connected to all of this. That's like how you've been. Like, I just realized that. I'm so stupid.
I mean, that's okay. That part is fair.
Yeah.
Because you are correct. Like there is, like I do like leaving all these little threads of mystery in the world, because this world is still sandbox.
Allegedly. Yeah.
It's still sandbox. You guys can go where you want to.
Yeah.
Like I know you guys definitely like you either, I don't know if it's you as the players or you as the characters, feel the obligation to continue being Blue Cloaks. You don't necessarily have to.
No, but I like being Blue Cloak.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, I figured most people who
there's
wind
a
up
lot of
playing
people
this
that do, yeah.
campaign do enjoy it,
Yeah.
and they do wind up like sticking to it.
Conor, how else am I supposed to bang the boss if I don't stay at Blue
Yeah,
Cloak?
That's true. ultimate plan is to fuck the boss.
No. My ultimate
Connor.
plan is to fuck the boss and his wife.
Mm-hmm. What was that?
Connor, I'm going to ask you this because this was kind of like, well, my question is like, now that the Rudy like backstory stuff is like mostly over or whatever, did you plan this from the beginning?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, I planned a very, very
So,
like
did you just, like, look
Rudy's
at the
backstory
backstory
had
with-
the
you were
Rudy's backstory had the easiest hold for me to use. It was
Wow.
easy.
You're like,
And
yeah,
there's-
that's perfect.
And there's still more to the backstory that can be messed with. Like you
really?
guys are going to be talking to the Demodan in a bit, and he is still a character that I just delight in because he's very, very interesting. And once you kind of, I'm not gonna spell it out for you guys. You guys are gonna have to try and puzzle it out a little bit. Everything he does has a reason. He is not an idiot by any means,
Nah, I don't expect him to be.
and he is very aware of what he is doing and how he is doing it. And that's all I'll say of him. But yeah, Rudy was planned from day one.
That's
Like the minute I had her story, I was like, I know what to do. This. Because I always had the Rosenvalles to be a little bit shady. They like, even when I like, my first notes were just in the tiny blue book, which is where my notes started. They were always shifty. Count Rowan Rosenvalle was, for my last campaign, involved with the Ketan. He was involved with a crime syndicate. He was a shifty motherfucker.
and then you were like, oh wait.
It was even easier. I was like, yeah, I can use this. I can make this work, and it just fit. And in fairness, there are a lot of people who have not campaigns, but plots that worked very well for it. Roe worked perfectly for Warridge. As well, I mean, what's his name? Fadai. Mayor Fadai was supposed to be this. He was a man who suddenly came to power and won just by sheer charisma alone, and was, the pristine politician symbol. So I needed someone to be the previous mayor, and it worked perfectly.
Especially considering her fall from grace.
Exactly. It was just perfect. Like every single bit of it worked just like I wanted it to.
So you're saying the Odella children were the good ones?
No, because you also fit in very well.
Hey.
Yeah, Mercy, and her family fits in very well as well. I can't say much past that, but
yeah, you
like,
already had the followers in the game, so
followers of Ryan were always in my game. And the Owlie were always in my game. I always enjoyed having the very much a crusade like feeling coming from this section of the world where, I don't know, my players could have the possibility to actually try and do something good. I left this big spot for people to go, hey, you can stop it, you can be the hero, and I always felt like it was a good idea, and it's also a compelling story.
Well, consider you made the High Priest Mercy's murderous father. I mean,
that just worked. That just worked really well. And I will point out, just because he is the High Priest does not mean he is in charge.
No, I assume the guy's still in charge.
Gregor Verheyen is still there.
But yeah.
All of it just worked out very, very well.
Yeah, I mean, I'm very mad I did not roll that persuasion roll well, but at the same time, Rudy's probably gonna just start asking to the dividend, so it's fine.
Which persuasion roll? Because I don't know.
The one where I came in and was like, I have questions, and you're like, roll a persuasion roll because you didn't expect that. I was like, cool, roll the 9.
Yeah.
Rudy's not good at talking to people.
Yeah, well, that's kind of the unfortunate thing about Erudite is that you're not a good talker.
Yeah.
And
I was like, okay, cool. I'm gonna kill you now. Like, it's fine. I thought it was funny. I was like, okay, that's cool. I said it right before. I was like, nah, it's not gonna work, but it's fine.
yeah, you're like, nope.
It's worth a shot.
Of course.
You gotta just go with it. And I think it's fun. I think it was fun to try. Now, Maybe this Dividend guy will answer questions.
That's it. My favorite thing is Woody's consistent persuasion checks that always fucking fail.
Always suck.
That's like Woody's got her thing, and that's the fact that she is not a charismatic character.
I think it's funny.
It
I think
happens.
it's so fucking funny.
Really, the only characters that were trouble, like air quotes troublesome to try and figure out, Gale and Morgan. They were the only ones. Because Gale, you put yourself in a spot where it's like, well, I didn't expect a volcano to be there, but sure, I
Surprise!
guess that can work. and I've got a way I can kind of make it. I can figure it out. And Morgan, Kate just gave me so much information that I was just like, oh Christ, what am I gonna do?
Yeah.
I
That's
have
why I
to
always
find a
give
way to make this work and this work, and oh fuck.
I give people skeletons and not full bodies.
Well, the problem is,
Skeletons
you
are
give
more
me a
fun.
body, I have to try to hide it somewhere.
Exactly. I give skeletons so you can just build on the and make a body, make something out of it.
Yeah.
I give you the ingredients, not the recipe. Like just
Yeah.
figure it out. That's always how I do backstories.
It just works. It works a lot better in my mind.
Alright, I
More
think
fun.
we need to cut it here.
That's what I was gonna say.
Sorry.
No,
Sorry.
you're fine. No, hey, it's great discussion, and it's great to discuss all these things and hear all of this stuff and hear what people are thinking, and that is why we do this, because we have fun talking about it. Because we also need to talk about it, because it's always interesting hearing. I love hearing what people have to say about things, and I'm sure you guys do too. And we want to thank all of you for tuning in. I want to thank Conor for hopping in, Jess and Michele as well for joining me here to discuss a lot that has happened. And yeah, so if you guys do have any questions, again, just remember, you can always tweet us at Dicefunctional with an underscore. We are live every Saturday, 4 o'clock Eastern, twitch.tv/Dicefunctional. We'll see you there. We'll
We
see
also
you the
have a
next
podcast
time.
feed.
And we are now officially on podcast feeds. So check us out wherever you would know. We are good on Apple. So wherever it is that you guys get your podcast, check us out, rate, review. We love you guys. And until the next time, take care of yourselves, and we will see you all later.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.